Hello, everybody. This is episode 22 of our Natural Health and Astrology series. I'm here with Laurie Barnes. My name is Annabelle Fraser. I am a naturopath and health coach specializing in digestive health, and I've teamed up with Laurie to bring you these episodes twice a month to help give you some guidance on how you can support your emotions during the moon phases. So I'll hand over to Laurie, who will explain what we're going to talk about today and tell you a little bit about herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laurie Barnes. I'm an astrologer and coach, and I work with people on setting goals and achieving those goals. Today, we're going to talk about the full moon in Gemini. This is a really fun full moon. I'm super excited to
I'm
share.
super excited because I'm Gemini, so I'm really
Yes. This is going to be a really fun one. And what's interesting too is that there's like some other energy going on at the same time, which makes it unique and interesting, as every month is. So, I just have to acknowledge that every month has its own variety of things going on in the sky. And then but each one has its own message. And the message of this full moon is really fun and exciting. And then I'm going to share a little bit about some of the other things, because there's other things going on that may not be as fun and exciting as this full moon. And it's falling on a weekend, so that makes it even more fun. So you can actually enjoy it if you work the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday kind of gig. This is happening over the weekend. So this Gemini full moon is, I'm going to be looking to the side because my notes are over here. The dates, so it's Saturday in the US in the evening, kind of late in the evening, and then in Rome, Italy, where Annabelle and I normally are. I'm not right now. In Rome, it's going to be early in the morning, around 5:30 in the morning in Rome. So, and I'm broadcasting from the United States right now. So if you watch these videos, my background is a little different. I'm at my parents' house where I grew up in the Midwest in Illinois. So I'm home for the holidays, and gonna enjoy this really fun full moon with my family. So yeah, 8:30. It's at 8:36 p.m. on the West Coast in California, and then 11:36 p.m. in the East Coast US. So just before midnight, and then early Sunday morning in Rome. And this is a full moon, which is culminating and releasing and kind of getting full of something. And the energy vibe is fun and conversation and networking and connecting. So I think it's probably one of the funnest full moons I've seen in a long time.
It's a great time to be back with your family and friends then in the States, right?
It is. And for all of us that are celebrating the holidays, and even if you're not nearby, or maybe you are nearby like me, and then you have some family members who are in quarantine right now and you can't see them, we have this amazing technology where we can still connect online. So if you are wanting to connect and then you're like, but I'm in quarantine or I can't get online, like this is just such a social vibe that's coming up. And it's like kind of boosted social fun connecting vibe, because there's other things in the sky besides the Gemini full moon that are giving us this message of connect and network and get in touch with others. So because Gemini is a social sign, right? If you know anything about Geminis, or any Geminis are just very social, great conversationalists. You always have something to say. There's never a dull moment, I think, when Geminis are around. And you can kind of say that, you can say that also for Sagittarians. And since it's a full moon, it's always the two signs that are opposite each other. So we have Sagittarius energy and Gemini energy mixing it up together. That's why it's fun. These are two signs that are very easygoing, like to chat it up, like some fun and adventure. And so that's the vibe. Now, that's not the only vibe. And the reason why the theme of this particular episode is fun optimism, and connection is because there are some other things that are kind of boosting up this energy. And one of them is that Gemini is one of the Jupiter signs. So Jupiter's a planet, and Jupiter is also known for its optimism, and kind of sometimes it brings luck. It helps you expand things and grow things, and kind of like puts the wind in the sails of making things take off. Jupiter's in the mix, and that's what makes this like a super boosted connection time, and kind of like fun and, jubilee kind of thing. And Jupiter is actually making a connection in the sky, like a mathematical, I won't get into the technical part, but just, from an astrology perspective, we look at when planets are connecting with other planets, and like, what is that message? And Jupiter's plugged in with both. So it has a connection with the sun and the moon. So it's like really sending these beams of like, get out there and do something. And sometimes these beams can be more challenging, and sometimes they're really supportive, and it's like a smooth kind of flow. And that's what this one is, that smooth flow. The energy is like a feel-good energy. And we're talking social signs. They're all the planet, Jupiter, and the sun and the moon are all in these really social connecting kind of signs. So that's why this is such a great weekend for connecting.
You mentioned Sagittarius. When is the Sagittarius time?
It's the end of November and December, up until when Capricorn starts. So we're in Sagittarius now. We're kind of at the end of Sag. It's going to be Capricorn soon. I'm sorry, I don't have the date, but it'll be this upcoming week, before Christmas. So yeah, that it's Sagittarius time right now with the sun. Yeah. And then there's one more thing that I just wanted to mention that's kind of like, it's a third thing. And in astrology, it's complex, as you all probably have realized, if you've ever had your chart read, or as you listen to us doing these videos, that it's not just your sun sign. There's all kinds of things that can happen in the sky. And so we have this saying in astrology, if you see the message once, it's likely it could happen. If you see it twice, it's more likely. And if you see it 3 times, it's like, wow, we're getting like, it's coming from all these different ways. So now this is a third thing that I'm bringing in. So we've had the sun and moon alone is a social connecting kind of vibe. And then we have Jupiter involved. It's kind of really like boosting up that energy. The third thing, and this also involves Mercury, which I probably didn't say this yet, but Mercury is the planet that's associated with Gemini. So we have the planet associated with the sign of the moon, and the planet that's associated with the sign of the sun in this full moon, both involved in making connections in the sky. And this one is Mercury. So that's what we call the ruler of Gemini, is making a contact with this other planet called Uranus. So this brings in like an element of surprise, or like lightning bolts of brilliance or ideas, or because Mercury is all about communication, our communication style, and anything like, and Uranus too can be associated with technology, and so when you bring this in the mix, it can bring great ideas. It can bring breakthroughs and innovative things. It's a time to get creative. So not only is it a time to connect and communicate and get in touch with others, it's also a good time if you're an online solopreneur, right? Like, we're both coaches. We do a lot of work online. Well, this is a really good time to launch something, or to make a breakthrough on, maybe there's a blog that you have been wanting to release, and have just kind of like haven't been able to figure out like how you want to say something, or there's a new offer or service that you want to launch. This is a good weekend to do that. It's just a good weekend to get creative in whatever it is you're working on. If you haven't been able to figure something out, this weekend could be a time that you have some like brilliant insight, some bolt of breakthrough that you haven't been able to get in touch with before. So that's another thing that this weekend is good for. If socializing is not like it's just not something that you're interested in doing this weekend, there's this other way that you can really tap into this energy, read a book, read some, just try to do something to tap into this energy, because there is like a touch of luck that is going to be around all weekend, and optimism, and it's just I think a really, really beautiful energy vibe for this weekend.
Great.
So what essential oil can we use to help us kind of tap in and get grounded?
So cedarwood is the oil I've chosen for this this month's full moon, because cedarwood is the oil that's known for emotionally for connection, so helping us just move away from feeling a bit alone, a bit isolated, to feeling connected with others. So it really taps in with that whole theme of social connection that you've been talking about. So it's quite a if you haven't smelt cedarwood, it's a very earthy, woody, deep smell. It's a very grounding oil, actually, I find, and it's really good also for people who have sleep issues or suffer with anxiety. It's also physically, it can be really beneficial because it's anti-inflammatory. I was saying to Laurie earlier that it's not the first one that comes to mind for me when I think about anti-inflammatory oils, but it does have those properties. It also has antiseptic properties and diuretic properties. So it's really useful for things like coughs and sinus issues, even skin issues like psoriasis or eczema, especially combined with lavender. That's really nice for the skin. Combined with lavender, it's also really nice for sleep, obviously, too. And it's useful because of its diuretic properties, good for urinary tract infections as well. So it's got lots of benefits, really nice in the diffuser, in the evenings, if you're just feeling like you need to just kind of calm yourself from the day, but also emotionally, it just kind of helps bring you out of that perhaps low feeling that you might be experiencing if you've been feeling a bit alone, a bit isolated, and it'll help motivate you to get in contact with others. That will for sure lift your spirits.
That's lovely, lovely. So we talked about it, but I didn't mention it on the video, so I just want to say that you did bring up the sleep, because there's so much mental activity in this full moon. Definitely, if you already have problems sleeping, that it could rear up more this weekend. And I do think that we're going to be more mental, that we're going to have kind of like a lot more thoughts, a lot more activity in our minds. And that's why
also, no, so I was just going to say, also because you were talking about, there is that energy that's good to kind of hook into in terms of like researching or being creative and stuff. So that is quite mental energy, isn't it, that we're using there. So to balance it out, it could be good to use this oil, I think.
I think so too. I think it's a really great combination, so that we don't get so far in our heads, or too many competing thoughts. Sometimes we get flooded with, I know I do, 10 things at one time, and then it's like I can't even speak, because it's like, well, which thing do I say first? So I love this idea of the cedarwood to kind of like help ground myself, so that I can better work with all of the mental stuff that's coming out, and be more organized in how I use the energy, or and we can all benefit from that. I knew that cedarwood was gonna I talked to Annabelle earlier, and I knew cedarwood was coming up, and I have it going in my diffuser right now, and it's really wonderful. So hopefully you all can to get a hold of some cedarwood and ground yourselves, and really tap into this energy, because it's a really nice one, really nice.
Yeah, I mean, wherever you are in the world, if you're in the States or if you're in Italy or wherever you are, you can just get in touch with me if you want to purchase some cedarwood essential oil, which is the doTERRA brand, is the one that I always recommend. because of the high quality, the purity, the potency, and the safety of these oils too. So you can just get in touch with me, and we can order this or any other oil for you.
Yay. So if you listened to the last episode that we did, I know that we talked a bit about December and how December is just a really busy month astrologically. And so I just wanted to mention again that the Venus is going retrograde, and that's going to be on Sunday. So it's like really on the coattails of this full moon. It's kind of like the full moon happens, and then, you know, less than a day later, Venus goes retrograde. And I don't want to have you think that because this is such a really upbeat and lively and fun full moon, that if you are having some other intense things going on in terms of your how you are relating to someone or something in your life, that is also happening at the same time, and that that is going to go until March. And it's a really wonderful time to reevaluate and kind of make any updates, upgrades to any kind of relationship to kind of things that are needing to have a second, third, fourth look. It's not good or bad. It just is, you know, there's sometimes growth and evolution that happens, and we have to kind of like relook at something and make some updates. And so that is a more intense energy that's happening, and it is happening at the same time. That kind of like started its effects earlier in December, and it's going to, the planet Venus will retrograde on Sunday, and then that whole retrograde cycle will last around 3 months. So do try to tap into this really fun energy this weekend. And even if you are having some of these intense beginnings of this like Venus retrograde thing coming on, you can do both, is what I'm saying, is that you can still have fun and you can still connect and reach out to your friends, especially friends that you've been friends with for a while, and have just a really wonderful weekend, and still have, you know, like the beginning of this evaluation cycle at the same time. And that's life, right? I mean, no one goes through life only doing one thing at a time. You know, we all are kind of like juggling many different things, and it's just astrology is reflecting this. So the focus of this video is really the full moon. I just want to acknowledge that there is this other, there's actually a few other things, but I just really wanted to mention the Venus retrograde today, so that as you're listening, and maybe there are some things that you're already starting to evaluate in a relationship, and you're kind of like, well, how do I deal with this, whatever this is, and go and have all this fun? And you can do it. You really can. You know, just you tap into that creative energy, and you solve. This is a really problem solving kind of energy, because it's mental and it's creative. So yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so some ideas that I have for you for what to do on the full moon is get together with your friends or your family. And if you can't do it in person, get creative for how you can do it on Zoom. I know that Zoom has kind of been the thing for the last 2 years, and it's, you know, like, oh, Zoom. But I think with this energy, you could create some unique or new way of connecting, whether you do a new kind of board game, or you know, cook and have lunch together on, you know, on Zoom. You could actually come up with something that's uniquely fun that you've never done before.
That's really nice ideas, yeah, to do that.
Yeah. Obviously it's the end of the year. A lot of people are probably thinking about 2022, so this could be a great weekend to start writing down your goals. I personally don't do resolutions. I do goals. I do goal setting. I review the goals from previous years and do like a progress evaluation, and then I look to what's coming next year. So this could be a great weekend to do that.
Goals are your speciality, right? That's what you help people with. So.
Yeah, really. Yes, it absolutely is my specialty. Yes, and actually, I'll be I'm going to be sending out a special offer for 2022 and goal setting in my email. So if you are not on my email list, get on my email list if you want to get access to that special offer. Read books, anything, adventure books. So that's another thing you could do this weekend if you're kind of feeling like, you'd rather do something more personal, interpersonal, research, read a book. And if higher education is on your horizon, this is a really good weekend to research or even do that application. Let's see, did I miss anything? Oh, I think I said this earlier, but I just want to say it again. This is just a great weekend to launch something online, whether it's a post on social media, launching your website. This is just a good time to tap into that kind of energy. I will have those things and some other ideas and some journaling prompts on the blog, which I will link to in the comments below.
Great. Lots of good tips. You've inspired me. I'm going to be focusing on some of those things this weekend, especially since I'm in quarantine because of my daughter. So I've got lots of time on my hands. So.
Yeah, I wanted to acknowledge that, we can't all just kind of go out and go like we used to 2 years ago. So this weekend is an opportunity to really get creative if you're in quarantine, and how you can still connect and reach out, even if you have to do that from home.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, living in a different country to a lot of my friends, it's, I've done a few things like that with Zoom, like you've suggested, like we've had disco, like had the music and we've just been dancing. We just kind of meet every now and again, just have a dance. And I really like and then just like meeting, for a cup of tea kind of thing, but virtually. But I like the idea of, maybe like cooking together and having lunch together, doing something social, even if it's not in person. That's still really nice.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And I guess our next broadcast will be next year, our next episode.
Yeah.
I think the next one is January 2nd. So it'll be right after the new year.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. See you all next time.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.